John is here. It's been a year?
Something like that.
And
7 months, 3 weeks, and 4 days.
We're very glad to have you back. And as tradition would have it here with Loveline, I'm going to jam along with John Popper this evening.
I see you brought your saxophone.
I call it my horn.
You've called a lot of things your horn, but
this one I can get to.
Yeah, this one you can blow yourself.
I can actually get my mouth around this
More
one.
than just honking on this.
Oh, dear. We've gone raunchy so quickly.
More than just replacing the reed constantly in a very fast, repetitive motion.
Embouchure, my friend.
Anyway, I'm going to jam with John a little bit later on tonight. I also brought in my keyboard this evening, and I will be playing that as well, or perhaps Drew will be playing that.
I hear Dr. Drew plays a little.
You're going to have to look convincing here.
He played a little, when, in high school and college?
Yeah.
You took lessons.
Oh, yeah.
You come from one of those families.
6 years old.
I'll bet he's like that guy in Shine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he can captivate an audience verbally like that guy, but I don't know if he can do it with his piano playing.
He doesn't sweat like that guy, but, you know.
I could get through the Rock 5 at one time, but not anymore.
All right, so maybe Drew on the 88s. I'll probably be on the horn, and, of course, John will be on the harp. And, John, I would say I'm no music aficionado, but I would say you are the best living harmonica player at this point. Would that be a safe bet?
Thank you for putting my life in danger. I think it was Boss Manzanero who became the boss of all bosses, and that job lasted about a month. So to be the harpist of all harpists is not really a title.
You are certainly in the top 3.
Thank you.
There you go. All right, so what do we want to do? You want to talk about Horde?
Sure.
When is your manager's in the next room or your record guy's in the next room and he's making out the Horde Festival tour list?
Ask me when it is.
Yeah, I know you don't know.
I have absolutely no idea whatsoever.
But what is this, like the 6th year?
The 7th year.
The 7th year.
We have now tied the former tour Lollapalooza with being the longest running tour of all time.
And who is on this tour?
Is that like a good... I guess Ice Capades kicked our ass, though.
Yeah, Snoopy on Ice, I think, may hold the crown as we speak.
We got Bare Naked Ladies, Lana Davis, and Ben Harper.
We've had...
And 80 other bands.
Oh. Do we have Ben Harper on this show? I don't think so. No. But Ben Harper plays the piano, doesn't he?
I think so. I think he plays the guitar, too. I haven't...
I'm thinking of Ben Folds.
Oh, Ben Folds plays the piano. Yeah, Ben Harper.
We have had the Bare Naked Ladies, and I think they are a great group.
Yes. They're a killer group.
Nice guys.
And if you want to, like, dance and have a big party, they're the kind of band to get. So I'm looking forward to playing
Good sense of humor and a great live show.
The key is that we're all going to be jamming together, and that's really the fun.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's the purpose of a Horde tour.
All right. I'd really like to go to that when it's... is it going to be here in town somewhere?
We'll swag you completely. Absolutely.
It'll be in, like, Irvine or something like
Irvine.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, that will be great.
And the date is...
we'll find out.
Yeah.
To be announced.
Yeah, now, does Blues Traveler have to do all the dates because it's their tour?
Yeah, by law, actually.
So you'll make every one of them?
We tried wriggling out of it last year, but no, we've got to be there.
And when are you going back in the studio?
Probably January, I would say.
And straight on till midnight is...
Straight on till morning.
Oh, sorry, morning. I'm thinking of a snuff film I saw in the early 70s. Straight on till morning is the latest, and that's been out for about a year. So
that's correct.
I think it's time for a new one. But
yeah, I know we've been touring and babying, and
who's got kids? You don't.
Our guitar player is a proud father. His wife gave birth, I should say, on wait a minute, my earphones go. Okay, his wife gave birth on Christmas Eve, and he's been enjoying the raptures of fatherhood.
Well, that's kind of nice.
It's basically a lot of, wiping.
But, I think, and Drew, tell me if this is irresponsible thinking, wouldn't it be nice to have a job where you were on the road, where you take time off the road to be with your wife when she delivers the baby, to settle her in, to pay the au pair, and then get back on the effing road?
There's a problem with that. The wife is not stupid.
Yeah, it would be a man's dream. If it were a man's world, that's how it would go.
You hang out for the first 10 days, 2 weeks, and then you hit the road.
It's bad for the kids. So.
It is?
Yeah.
Even they don't know what's going on at that age, do they?
Abandonment.
As the contractions get sharper, there's a point I hear where the wife grabs her husband by the arm, and gives him a look that will keep him around for 3 months, and it's not of affection, it's fear.
Drew's wife can do that at dinner.
Sure. Well, nightly.
She has that ability.
Wow.
Maria.
Maria, you're 18. Is that you?
Oh, we're really off to a flying
There she is,
start.
Maria. There she is. Maria?
Yeah.
All right, go right ahead.
Oh, with my problem?
Yeah.
Well, the problem is I've had 6 sexual partners, like, in my past. And I've probably had about 280, 350 times, somewhere along that. I kind of lost count a while back. And I've never had an orgasm. And, like, I've had boyfriends in the past. They've tried everything that you could possibly imagine, and nothing ever happens.
Are you able to do anything by yourself?
I haven't. I've kind of tried, but I never really got into it, I guess.
Why so many partners?
Huh?
Why so many
Well,
partners?
6 isn't that many.
6 is not that bad.
18.
I think it's interesting that you're keeping count of the amount of times you've had sex.
Huh?
I think it's interesting that you're keeping count.
No, I'm...
Just trying to tell us. I think you sort of give us a...
No, that's just an estimate.
Right.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm not sitting there, like, keeping little...
I would...
Got a little clicker going.
Yeah, like the umpires use.
No, I don't have, like, a little pen and paper where I
I'm just
sit.
picking up this little something about her stuff.
No, but I just wondered, like, if it's me or...
Do you enjoy sex?
Yeah, I really do. It's great. Sex is great. I love it. I just...
Why? Hold on. Let me just put this question to the panel. If as a guy, if you didn't have an orgasm, how many times would you go for...
This is the beauty of being a woman, though. See, women can enjoy sex on a level we can't. For us, it's all got to lead to that conclusion.
Right. I know. She's 250, 280 into it at 18.
That's
has
not
never
a person
had
who
an
hates
orgasm.
it, you know.
Yeah, but it's somebody who's... Something's going on with that.
There is something in your voice, Maria.
Oh, what?
No.
Where's your dad? You like him?
My dad?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're getting to.
He's... No.
Yeah.
My
Wow, you
father-
guys are good.
My father's in a different country.
Yeah, and see, you're looking for something, and it's not the right thing. What I would suspect is that a lot of this would function a lot better if you could find a relationship with somebody that is really available for you in an emotional way that makes you feel good about yourself. Not somebody who is some dangerous outlaw type, which is what I suspect you actually go for, huh?
Do you go for those dangerous outlaw types?
Well, all my friends tell me that I go for the ones that are going to treat me kind of bad.
There you go.
But
There you go.
they don't see, like...
Maria, you don't see.
They don't see that side of him when he's
they
sleeping
see- yeah,
and
they
not committing crimes.
They see just fine. You don't see.
But
And
is
I know
there
it's-
anything that I could do?
Yeah, you need to
Spend some time alone.
Yeah, spend time alone and certainly not be afraid to explore yourself physically, but it's the fact that you can't find that emotional place that women have to be in touch with in order to have this experience and feel safe enough to be with somebody who really cares about you and is not going to abuse you or abandon you, which is the kind of people you go for, to try to solve that problem that your dad left you with by abandoning you.
You know what I was thinking? This was a...
That snuff film again?
Yeah, well, it's on the same, or almost the same topic. And it's kind of a sick thought, but I was watching the Discovery Channel tonight, and I was watching these sharks, and they were mating. And the one male shark had, like, bit the female shark's dorsal fin and was, like, rolling it over, and the female shark was trying to get away. And I thought to myself, you know, in nature, I think... rape is real common. I'm not trying to make a joke here, but I'm just saying there's a lot of rape going on in nature.
This is the cry of a hurt little boy inside of you.
I'm saying I'm surprised there's, I'm sickened that there's as much of it as there is.
It sounds like you're saying, how come when I treat them nice, they don't want me to come back?
I'm saying...
You're interpreting that as rape. And the women also eat them. Look at the praying mantis. The woman bites the male's head off.
Tarantulas sting the male.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, the point is that and that may be interpreted by a shark as receptive. That may not be rape.
No. She was being eaten by the shark, and she was rolling around on her back trying to get the shark away from her, and like
she could have been writhing.
3 male sharks ganged up on her. It was a gang rape. It really was.
Do sharks have penises?
I don't know, but you know what's weird? I was sitting there watching this, and I was getting uncomfortable. Like, I can watch a guy buy it on a motorcycle, and I can watch a guy light himself on fire as a protest of the Vietnam War.
Were you attracted to the sharks?
No, I can't watch animals having sex. It feels sick to me. I can watch
Perfectly natural.
I can watch underage girls from the Midwest who are come out here and have been drugged up and watch Ron Jeremy get on top of them, but I can't watch animals having sex. I find that sickening.
I was reading some stuff this weekend. It really defined decadence as the objectification of humans.
Yeah.
And that's really it. It's too real to watch the animals. The humans you can objectify nicely. They're just objects.
I can't do that. When I see little kids being attacked and smacked around, that I can't watch.
Oh no, I'm not.
Like I watched. Did you see that videotape where the guy, some cop show where the female cop had the guy up and he just clocked her in the face?
No.
Oh God! And she went, ugh! She took the best punch I've ever seen in my life, and it was really hard to watch this 6'8", 300-pound man just clock this 5'6" woman, and it was really kind of made your gullet sort of squirm.
It didn't arouse you in any way.
No, and I can watch dogs barf all day.
Oh, you can? So we're the opposite.
Yeah.
I can watch people being beaten, but I can't watch dogs barf.
I actually think the look on their face is kind of funny.
Makes me feel dirty.
Gentlemen, let's keep going.
Their mouth just sort of tots up and, oh yeah, sorry.
All right, but Drew, am I right to say that there's rape in nature?
Yeah, there's aggression.
You see it. You see the hyenas running,
listen,
the female's trying to get away, and the guy jumps on her and
Human
tackles
sexuality
her.
is a lot about aggression, too.
They say that the female genitals and the male genitals have been placed so that the female can't bite the male when he's taking her from caveman days.
Taylor?
That's very interesting. It sounds good.
Taylor?
Well, yeah.
Hello.
Hi, what's going on?
Sounds good.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Good.
Well, about 3 weeks ago, I got a lump underneath my nipple. And last week I went to the doctor, and he did a check, and he said that it was something called a breast bud.
Yeah.
And it wasn't anything cancerous, and he did a check everywhere. And he said that it was normal during puberty. And I also have something called auxiliary nipples.
Yeah,
And-
supernumerary nipples.
Superfluous nipples.
Yeah, they're along a line down towards your stomach.
Yeah, they are.
We all start out basically like animals, dogs, with a
Taylor, you're a werewolf.
with a bunch of nipples, and they sort of concentrate. They all resorb, and some people left over with little nipples that look like moles, basically.
When do they resorb?
During development.
I mean, while you're in the fetus.
Yeah.
I've seen those.
All right, but Taylor, what's your question?
Well, I was wondering,
Actually, the Morrell twins had 4 nipples, but wait a minute, there's
Between
2 of
them.
them. That's
Between them,
right.
yeah.
Okay, scratch that.
Taylor?
Yeah,
ahead.
he said that the lump is okay and it's not really anything cancerous, but he didn't really tell me how long it would be there or anything about it.
Usually those things happen earlier in puberty, like 13, 14, okay? And it's the result of estrogen being produced by the adrenal glands primarily.
Yeah, it's a puberty thing. I think I had that.
Laugh for me, Taylor. What do you think, Anna?
You smoke the weed, Taylor?
No.
Okay, that's the other way to get that to delay and persist in puberty. Is marijuana tends to do that too.
Cool.
And there are other syndromes associated with what's called gynecomastia. So, but puberty is normal, and it usually towards the end of puberty goes away. It should be gone in a year or so. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Taylor.
What's the laugh test?
Guys who smoke a lot of weed just laugh like Spicoli
they
from
all laugh
Fast
the same
Times.
way.
Like,
Yeah, it's kind of a. I can't do it. It's a very breathy sounding.
It sort of sounds like they just took a big bong load and then they're watching a Cheech and Chong film, right? When
you listening, kids?
Cheech.
Doctor those laughs.
Cheech does something funny and they sort of spit out the bong load and laugh. It's an exhale and a laugh.
Oh, that Cheech and Chong are so funny.
It's not a maniacal laugh, and it's not a mad scientist laugh, and it's not a dizzy cackle. It's just, we'll know it when we hear it. Tony,
Yes.
we'll see if we can get a good one for you tonight.
Okay.
You 16?
Yes.
You smoke a lot of weed?
No.
Okay. Could
Well,
you
I do
smoke?
some, but...
Okay.
Well, let me hear you laugh.
Huh?
Laugh for us.
See, that's definitely not it.
No.
It's more of a.
Oh, we'll find it. Tony, what's your question?
Okay. I masturbate like 2 or 3 times a day. And,
Right on, man.
Okay.
What's the question?
All right, I masturbate 2 or 3 times a day. And every, a couple days afterwards, I see this white, flaky substance on my scrotum, and I was wondering what that was.
You got to wash better.
How do you know what it...
No, I wash very good.
How do you know what afterwards is, or if you continuously masturbate 2 or 3 times a day?
Like, I stopped, like, one day because I was getting tired of it for a while, but then I, like, missed it, and I went back to it.
Even God had to rest.
Yeah.
And what is that flaky stuff, Drew?
I agree with John.
Schmegma.
Do you wash, Tony?
Yes.
Tony, do you have some sort of, do you do it standing up or lying down?
Lying down.
Yeah. You got to do it in the shower.
Oh, okay.
That'll take care of that.
Oh, nice.
Don't use the Prel, though.
Yeah.
That's, let me just pass that on from experience. It's a certain sensation that goes on with that Prel, and it's not the minty fresh.
I
like
can
the
feel
bottle
it
says.
working.
Oh, yes. And then you feel it working about an hour later, and then you can actually feel it eating through the first layer of your penis. And my penis is only 1 layer thick, so it gets to the other side real quick. Tony?
Yes.
You're fine.
Thank you.
The penis is a complex pastry of flesh.
Yep. And Drew's is shaped like a croissant, speaking of pastry.
I think you guys have been working a little too closely together.
Well, I saw him at the airport when we were in Cincinnati, I think.
Brian.
Yeah.
You're
Hanging out at
14.
airports. Hi,
Yeah,
Brian.
A few weeks ago, I got kicked in the balls, and I haven't been able to get any erection since.
Is there any swelling in the testicles?
Huh?
Any swelling in the testicles?
They were black and blue for a couple days.
But no swelling per se.
No.
Maybe there's just, maybe it's an emotional thing, like, Vietnam vets who,
I've heard much worse things happening to testicles than they work. My manager, who's like right in the next window, when he was in the 2nd grade, had testicular cancer, and they had to operate on it. And he had this big scar on one of his nuts, and he was showing it to some friends at the playground, and this big kid came and kicked him right in the nuts and burst all the seams, and he spent like the next 10 years kicking that guy's ass, but he got it up and running.
oh, my God.
God.
Can you believe that? Some
That's
guy
Dave Fry, everyone.
has just recovered from testicular cancer surgery. You show it in the schoolyard bully, comes and puts a PF flyer right in it.
If anybody ever wondered about the basic instinct of the human being.
Oh,
Think about that.
let me tell you. Let me explain the instinct.
Are the humans good or bad?
They're bad. Young boys are all bad. When I was like 6 years old, I was living in Philadelphia. And I had a good friend of mine who was living on our old neighbor was living on the West Coast, and he sent me a crash helmet in the mail. I haven't thought about this story in a long time, although I think I said it a couple of years ago on the air. And he sent me this crash helmet, and it was Eddie. And oh, boy, it was this crash helmet. And naturally, I strapped it on and went running all around the block with this crash helmet on. And I came up to one of the neighbor kids, a boy, a year or two older, and he was raking leaves.
Of
and
course.
I said, I got myself a brand new crash helmet, and this thing's impervious to anything, although I'm not sure if I used the word impervious at that age.
You felt a little invincible, though.
Impenetrable, I think I used.
Had a crash helmet.
And I said, go ahead, take your best shot with that rake handle.
That's human nature.
On this crash helmet. And he reared back and he whacked that crash helmet, and I didn't feel a thing. And I said, do you see the wonders of the crash helmet? And I was sort of laughing and dancing. And I then took the crash helmet off and started to walk home. And now came the second whack over the back of the head with the rake. But this is...
he just got that rake, and he felt pretty invincible himself. And, here we are laughing at it.
For Brian, he does need to see somebody. I mean, there can be serious injuries of the testicles. They can rupture and fracture and bleed, and all kinds of things can happen.
Never hurts to see a doctor.
Yeah, and if there are erectile function problems, difficulty urinating, this is all important stuff to get evaluated.
And it can be fixed, I think.
Usually.
1 year later, the same guy sent me an athletic cup in the mail in the same... No, I didn't. I kept that one to myself.
And he had a new sledgehammer.
He had a new cricket mallet.
Power tools and protective gear. It needs to be its own channel.
I'll tell you, John, if you saw inside of my garage, that's all you'd see is athletic supporters and hypoid saws. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, I think I may do a little jamming with John.
Oh, next break. Next segment.
Yeah, I think so. I'm feeling warm. I'm feeling good. And then, Drew, later on in the evening, perhaps you jump in on the Ivories. Well, we'll see if we can't. We'll see if we can't coax him. The Loveline. We have the great John Popper in here. He and the rest of the Blues Traveler will be out doing the Horde Festival. And now I have the lineups. And I think... I'm not sure if we're on in every one of these cities. So I'm going to put a little notch by the one. Oh, man, I hope I'm in town here. So I'm going to cross-check this with Ann, with you, before I announce the dates over the air, because I don't want to alert anyone you're coming who can't hear that you're coming.
Could I address a topic? Because I have a friend
Certainly.
out there, and I told her I would address this topic with a licensed therapist.
Sure.
Physician.
It's okay if Drew hangs out?
Yeah, sure.
Almost every one of these.
She told me, I was telling her my theory about the male curse. I think I've talked to you guys about this before, where having, two gonads makes you constantly aggressively horny all the time. And it's
Women
an
have
urge.
2 gonads, too.
Do they?
Yeah, 2 ovaries.
Are those gonads?
Yeah.
Are they constantly pumping estrogen? See,
But testosterone is a totally... The male brain is a totally different structure.
It's bigger, right?
Smaller. And the
It's more
hormonal
efficient, isn't it?
circumstance is the reception to testosterone, the circulating, totally different. I mean, it's a different system.
Well, the theory I was imparting, and everybody agreed except her, was that men are horny in a way that women can't understand.
Yes.
Like, I gave her the test. Have you ever pictured having sex with every single man you've ever seen in your entire life? Old ones, ugly ones.
Right.
And she said, well, no, of course not. And I said, well, being a man is, your third grade teacher. Like, ooh, I don't want to think about that, but you already thought about it.
Yeah, as a guy, women, the whole female populace just falls into one of 2 categories, which is either you want to have sex with them or you don't, but you make a decision
You consider
when you see them.
Exactly.
And I don't know what, I know that sounds bizarre, but it's true. You don't necessarily have to dwell on it.
Or act on it.
And you can rise above that and, look for something deeper or more pure or whatever you value.
Yes, men have capacity to be better than that.
Exactly.
But
Right.
they naturally...
But they
Listen,
rarely call on it.
Just natural selection alone would have women be much more selective. I mean, throughout the evolution of the human being, the decision to have sex for a woman meant the risk of baby, which itself was a life-threatening risk until the last 50, 100 years. Risks of infectious diseases that would kill you until 50 years ago. And that you couldn't have lots of babies. It was just too much of a commitment, too much of a burden.
I think society...
While a man tries to get as many babies as he can, and then, as you say, then go on the road.
Right.
Take it to the streets.
Yeah, the band is the natural sort of de-evolution of man.
The nomad.
Return to roots.
Right, go from town to town, bang groupie, and then move on to the next town.
And I think it's unfortunate in society, women kind of are forced to hold the higher values in the couple.
Yeah, but they're not forced to. They naturally do. The problem society has is that we don't raise women to demand that.
Right.
Because they're all bewildered and miserable because
Yes.
they can't understand why they're doing what Cosmo tells them to do, but they're miserable.
Exactly.
They're not taught to trust their instincts, demand their needs get met, and then men to respect that. We just don't. We got it all backwards right now.
Yeah, and men aren't taught to even seek that. And
No.
I think men should.
You ever,
and they're happy.
and if you ever stand at the supermarket checkout, you'll see the Cosmo. Just read the cover. And don't read it out loud. It's embarrassing. But it'll be like, how to have 5 orgasms on the way to the boss's office to demand a raise.
Yeah.
It's just the
With
most...
12 guys.
I love that. I love reading Cosmo. It's great.
I think I was complaining about it once and then realized I had a small column in it.
Had.
Here's Cosmo.
Had it.
It's not there anymore?
I actually love reading the secrets that men really want.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So you can
there's-
pinpoint it.
There's like 4 words.
Wouldn't the operant article be, let's decide what women really need and make sure they get that?
There you go.
Isn't that what women should be taught?
All right.
What is it you really want? What is it you...
See, no one would buy that magazine.
Drew's wife's listening, so that's where that's coming from. All right.
So I hope that I settled this for my friend out there.
Yeah, I think you made your point. Straight On Till Morning is the name of the CD. I believe we're going to hear something off it now called Yours. Oh, that was beautiful.
I love the heavy stuff, the metal.
That was Yours from Straight On Till Morning. John Popper's here from Blues Traveler. I have the Horde Festival lineup in front of me. I also dug out my gay and lesbian aptitude test this weekend because of some
How
book
about that?
thing Drew and I are
Did you
doing.
finish that?
Yeah, I did all that. It all turned out great, but I thought to myself, I haven't done the gay aptitude test in a while, nor the lesbian aptitude test.
You're
And,
going to do the radio version, yes?
yeah.
Yeah.
And John could possibly score along and see
like
see
to
how he
try.
ranks. Also, there's going to be some jamming with John. And I'm wondering now, Drew, we just heard Blues Traveler. Do you think we should jam here or take a call here and jam? Why don't
Take
we?
a call.
You want to jam a little?
Take a call.
Really?
Haven't set up a keyboard yet.
Oh, yeah, but
hey, it sounds like he wants to play now.
I was just going to blow the horn a little bit, just...
Well, why don't you let Drew play? He never gets to play.
All right. Drew, you're...
All right.
All right, let's take calls. Come on.
All right, when we finish setting up the keyboard, then you'll jump in a little bit?
All right.
Okay, let's just take a call here. Eric,
Yes.
you're 26.
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Drew. Hi, Adam. How are you?
Eric?
Hey, Eric.
Hi, John. I got a question. I've been dating this girl for about 2 months, and about 2 weeks ago, I told her I think I was in love with her. And we've had a very healthy sex life and very open communications. But after that, she seems almost distant, almost standoffish. What can I do to reopen those lines of communications, or and sexual communications as well?
You got to do what that shark did on the Discovery Channel. You got to grab her fin.
This one I'm really good at because I've done this recently.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes time for her to just know that you're not going to flip out, or she's scared. You scared the hell out of her.
I'm pretty sure that's what I figured, but I wasn't sure. Plus, she came off a 9-year relationship about 11 months ago.
Wow.
So she's been dating off and on. And
How old is she?
she's 27.
She probably doesn't want that kind of a relationship again. She made a little time to herself. She's probably afraid that she's getting into that again.
She spent, the last 11 months not...
You guys need to have a real talk about this.
Well, that's the thing. I try to talk to her. She's kind of standoffish.
Yeah, but here, and I think we'll all agree on this, which is you definitely frightened her a little bit. And if you come on with the full frontal assault, she's just going to just climb into her shell and never come out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose it. You have to treat her like a bass or something. You know what I mean? The
What's wrong with you and fish today?
I don't really know. I've been watching a lot of the Nature Channel.
Lloyd Bridges over here.
The thing is it's like the bass weighs 30 pounds, but you only have 11-pound test on the fishing line.
Right.
If you just try to yank the thing and drag it into the boat, it's just going to snap it. You got to give it a little line, let it swim around, let it tire itself out, and then you gaff it on board and you smack it.
Well,
That
won't scare her at all. Yeah,
Pool cue.
gaffing her on board with a...
Well, whatever they hit the fish with.
Don't hit her.
Mallet.
Look, you don't want to hit anybody.
don't
Nobody's
hit her.
going to hit anybody or reel them in. I think what you got to do is accept... I mean, you do got to talk about it, but what's going to happen is you're going to have to accept that she might not feel the same way as you.
That's true.
And she's going to have to learn that you feel that way and accept that in itself is okay, but it doesn't mean that anything has to come of it.
Don't intrude.
Okay.
Don't be intrusive. You understand what that means?
Just let her, work itself into it. Or...
And you're gonna have to figure out what kind of friend you can be.
Be present, be persistent, but don't be intrusive.
I don't agree with the persistent part. I will go with consistent, but not persistent.
Persistent has sort of an intrusive quality to it. I agree.
Right. The ball's in her court. She knows how you feel. Now is the time to just sort of back off and see what she does. I'll give another nature analogy here.
Oh, God.
I got one more in me.
I hope he works perch into this.
Yeah. I was going to go bonita, but
All right.
perch will work in this case. Even a walleye would probably work. I'll work it into the cat cage. You want to get the cat into the cage so you can take it to the vet. You can't put on a pair of boots and chase it around the house. You got to just leave the cage out, leave the door open, put a little perch.
But see, again, you're trying to catch something.
All right. You don't have to hit it. You don't have to gaff it on board. I'm just saying.
You're not trying to obtain it now.
I'm just saying, don't chase after it, because if it's walking away now and you chase after it, it's going to run. Just stand there and let it stop and look back.
If you love someone, let them go. If they don't come back, hunt them down and kill them.
That's right. Or fire your black powder cannon at him.
It's time for you to see what kind of friend you can be to her.
That's good. I like John. He's very sensitive.
I've been in therapy now. So
Oh, you have?
It was because I fell in love with a girl who I'd known for years and years and years, and I was determined to tell her everything. I was going to tell her absolutely everything. This thing I've learned is called faux intimacy, which is used to scare people.
Right.
And I told her everything, and I really botched the job. I hurt her feelings real bad. Like I told her something stupid that somebody said about her before that.
Right.
Just screwed everything up. And then, she said, I think you hurt my feelings because, you were going to tell me something. And I said, no, I was going to tell you I'm in love with you. And it was really brutal and horrible. And, and the more I tried to explain things to her, the more frightened she became. And I think she actually even told me, I don't need to know everything.
Right. Yeah, you can't you can talk your way right out of a relationship too. That's why the women like the foreigner so much, because all they know is compliments. His breast, his smile when you walk.
Oh, it's great when you're with someone who doesn't speak a word of the language you speak.
That's what I need.
All you have is that attraction to work from.
But I don't even want a foreigner. I just want a really stupid American. Okay.
You know, that real doll, we could get you one of those.
Yes. And believe me, I wouldn't even know it wasn't real for the first year and a half of the relationship. I'd say, Drew, I found the Wonder Woman. She puts out, she's beautiful, she doesn't talk much, it's great.
Bring her to parties, you're going to get embarrassed.
She stays in the trunk of my car and waits for me to come out from the theater.
Sure, the cops come by and check things out once in a while, but I show them, no, it's fake.
And her period's starting to line up with Ann, so I know when it goes. All right, Drew?
Yeah.
We're going to take ourselves a break, and when we come back, we're going to do a little jamming. All right. Loveline. We're here with John Popper from Blues Traveler, and as promised. Oh, let me get out these Horde tour dates, and John, you break out your harp while I'm doing this.
Okay, yeah, I got to open it.
They're going to be in Troy, Wisconsin on the 10th. This is in July. They're going to be in Chicago on the 11th. They're going to be in St. Louis, Missouri on the 12th, the 18th and 19th, still in July. They'll be in Detroit. 22nd, they're going to be in Cincinnati. 24th, they're going to be in Columbus, Ohio. They're going to be on the 30th in Boston. And the 31st of July, they will be in New Jersey. Now,
there's a whole other month, though.
There is a whole other month. But you know what? I'm going to spit those out after we do a little jamming, because I think my audience has waited long enough. Now, John and I haven't really discussed what we were going to do. I can't even remember what key we said we were going
in.
A?
Yeah, it's a good country key.
All right. We'll go A, and let me just pick up my horn. And John, you want to lead and I'll follow, or do you want me to lead?
That's a beautiful horn. What kind of horn is that?
It's a long story. I'd prefer to tell it after we jam. It has to do with my grandfather, and he's recently deceased, and he comes from Hungary. And
is that my grandfather's in Hungary?
Oh, you're kidding me!
I'm
Budapest?
Yeah, my father lived in Budapest.
Really?
Servus.
Yes, shalom.
This is like some sort of Hungarian or Czechoslovakian.
Yeah, it's
I know how to say "may you be penetrated from the rear by a horse" in Hungarian.
Okay.
Lo faça segetbe.
Really?
Yeah.
See, my grandfather never taught me how to say it, but he did show me how to was the difference. He was a doer. He didn't sit around and philosophize about.
I didn't get to meet my grandfather really.
He was a Hungarian guy, and he brought this horn with him from the old country around the late 30s. He was Jewish, and he was fleeing political times.
Weren't we all?
And he brought this horn with him, and I ended up with it. But let's give it a listen.
Is that an alto or a tenor?
It's alto.
Okay.
All right.
That's right, the small one.
Are you ready?
Yeah. We'll just riff. Oh, a hot shot. All right, try this out. Well, your testicles are working fine. Try this one. We could have our own cop show with this kind of stuff.
I feel that cold.
It was so funny, yeah, like a big boog came out of your nose while you're doing that.
Oh, boy.
Wipe that off.
Woo!
Ooh, it's hanging.
Oh,
no,
it's
the other
been a while.
nostril. Other nostril.
Oh.
All right, okay.
Shot up there like a piston. Wow. Hey, that was...
You play like a Hungarian.
That was a thrill. Thank you. I guess. Grandfather'd be proud if he could hear that. Later on, Drew, you want to jump in for a second there and let me get my win back?
All right. Let's just begin with calls, shall we? Later on, with some more.
Let me tell you. Let me just say this: I don't tour around the country playing these horde dates and whatnot. It's only once in a blue moon.
You're welcome to come, and we have a workshop stage, and all the musicians come from every band, and they can just all jam together. And you're more than welcome to come out there.
Oh, really?
Everyone would love to see you.
Well, maybe out in Irvine on.
He's been known to do that.
I believe the 27th of August.
Well, that's a date.
There.
We'll get you out there.
Okay, why don't we go to the phones, and then in a little bit, now, what we're waiting on with Drew is I had a guy bring a keyboard out here for Drew to play.
Insists on a grand piano is what I heard.
Well, what Drew insists on and what Drew gets, like Jenny Jones flying his first class to Chicago, is he actually had to fly outside of the plane. It went from first class to hang on to the landing gear.
And we just found out it wasn't the Rock 5, it was Rockford Files.
That's
what he can
that's
play.
the correction. But Drew will be jamming along with John and myself later on if we can coax him into it. Marie.
Marie.
You're 19. What's going on?
Well, basically on Tuesday, I found out that I was pregnant, and I've been seeing my boyfriend for 5 months, so, like, that wasn't really bad news. Except, 2 weeks ago, he hit me.
Okay, that's bad news.
And you know, I was still going to stick with him because I wasn't sure if I was pregnant or not. And then, tonight, I went to his house, I stopped by, and I caught him with a girl in his house.
Now, imagine that. A guy that hits her would actually be a cheater, too. Imagine that.
It's over. It's got to end.
Well,
he insists that, you know, she wasn't there with him, that...
let's start with first principles.
What does he insist?
He insists
they were just
that
friends.
It was his friend's girl, but the guy was 40 years old. The girl looked like she was about 16.
This guy's 40 years old?
You know, no, like his friend.
Uh-huh.
How old is your boyfriend?
He's 25.
What was he doing with her?
His friend?
What did you walk in on?
That,
boy.
Basically, I pulled up, and his friend was outside, and he saw me pull up, and he ran into the house and shut the door in my face. So I knew there was a girl in there, and I just opened the door, because I practically lived there.
All right, listen. What are you going to do with this pregnancy?
I don't know what to do now.
What are you going to do with the pregnancy?
I don't know what to do. Everyone
How far?
tells me.
Yeah.
5 weeks.
Your parents are advising you?
No.
Do your parents know about this?
No.
How come?
If I tell my mother, I'm going to get kicked out.
Where's Dad?
My father doesn't live with us.
Imagine that.
I don't talk to him.
How old was your mom when she had you?
24.
But
she was married to my father.
But Marie, as a sister, is 47. So.
Right.
No, I have an 18-year-old sister.
Okay. So you don't know whether to either have an abortion or have the child or give the child up to adoption.
Right.
Okay.
And I don't know if I should stay with him or not. If I have a baby.
I think you should treat it like you got to make these decisions now, and you got to really...
Because he already told everybody. He called his grandmother. He told his grandmother that we were getting married on Wednesday.
Well, if there was no child involved, we would tell you categorically to leave this guy. If you were planning on seeing this pregnancy through and you want to try to establish a family on behalf of that child, you really can't do it without professional help, because somebody that has begun to hit you will continue to hit you, and it will escalate. And in all probability, unless some substantial change can be made, this is going to be a mess. And basically, the simple answer is the one that John gave you, that it's better to cut your losses. I think it's great if you consider giving the child up for an adoption. That is just, to me, that's the greatest sacrifice.
True.
I mean, there should be a hall of honor for women that go through that nightmare of giving up a child. But on the child's behalf, that would be the best thing to do, really.
Don't you think the way things are heading from an evolutionary standpoint, kids are going to be able to be on their own at an earlier age?
At 2?
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Judging by some households, it sounds like they ought to be.
700 years from now. I mean, we talk to people all night long. They're 13 years old. Dad's been gone for a million years. They're chain smoking. Mom just is chained to the TV set. They're out taking care of business at a very young age. I mean, people who...
Well, 100 years ago, they were holding down jobs and working 14 hours and,
Right, but 100 years ago, you were kicking off when you were 40, so when you were 10, it was like you were 35. You see? Now, you live till 90, so when you're 10, it's like you're 6, you see? And I'm saying with the way things are heading, I think if nature has its way, kids are going to start getting pubic hair, and their voice is going to change about 5, and then they'll be out of the house about 7.5.
So what you're saying is you're hoping for a cure for death?
Yes, but the onset of early puberty is really what I'm looking for.
So you hit puberty in your 20s sometime?
Well, most marriages are lasting for like 4 years or 5 years. These two...
Which in dog years is how many?
Is 28 or something. The point is if... I got a whole nother argument for dog years, too, by the way. All right, wait a minute. We got to go to break. When we come back, I'm going to explain...
You've confused yourself, I can tell.
That's all right. That's why we put commercials in, so I can recoup. We'll be back.
It's the result of damage. One of the many sources of damage.
Here's the other one too, which is if you do a bunch of acid when you're young, and then you get a little bit older, and you do these retarded things where you're walking around with your sunglasses on your head and you don't know it, and you're looking all over for it. You're cursing your buddy who
peeing
you thought
outside with your dog.
You're peeing in unison with your dog out on the lawn. You start doing a bunch of things. Now, I didn't do a bunch of acid, so when I pull one of those, I just say, "Hey, I'm a F up," or "I forgot," or whatever. If I took a bunch of acid and then started doing that kind of stuff, I would never know what's causing it, and I would probably psych myself out and assume that it's because of the acid that I can't remember the person's phone number or what have you.
If that's all that happened to people that did acid, I wouldn't be discouraging.
Yeah, but
because the effects are far, far worse.
I'm just saying it's even a double-edged sword, because then you would start really screwing with yourself if you started to feel those effects. John Popper's here from Blues Traveler.
Right on.
Mike Ness will be in here from Social D, and the Pie Tasters will be in here later on this week, and Rancid will be in here at the end of the week. The only one who's not here is Dr. Drew, who's now here. And it's amazing that we get paid the same amount, even though
your producer was
does almost nothing.
Hey.
Okay. So, the keyboard has arrived. We are in the process of trying to set that up. We have to get a few chords and a few things, and we'll deal with that.
Judging by the way Adam is goading Dr. Drew, I think there's a little competitive thing out there. I think we're going to have dueling instruments.
Oh, little battle of the one-man bands.
See who can take who, really,
a lot of people remember last time John was in here, and I was jamming on my guitar, and the question comes up, hey, Adam, how do you play guitar and a saxophone and do them each so well? And what I try to explain to people, especially novices, people that are starting out, lay people,
civilians,
people that haven't made the scene, and I'm holding my hands up if people would watch.
The non-players.
The non-players is that an instrument it's much like a language, and John, I think you back me up on this. Once you learn one, it becomes easier to learn others.
An instrument is like a woman. Fondle her, be good to her, and she will sing sweetly to you.
Right, and blow out the spit valve every once in a while.
Oh, yeah, you got to clean the pipes.
I wonder if it'd be great if a woman came with a spit valve. Linda.
Some do.
Yes.
Maybe that phony woman does.
Yeah, right, the real doll does.
Phony woman, true, please, your mockery. Linda, what's going on? You're 30.
And by the way, you notice how there's no real doll man? You want to know another difference between men and women? There will never be a real doll man.
Oh, check this out. At basketball games, my drummer and his wife got into a big argument over this.
Hello?
Hold on a second, Linda.
Sorry, Linda. When they take a timeout, if you're at the basketball game, dancing girls come out and they bump and grind for you.
Mm-hmm.
And my drummer's wife was like, how come there's no, men, even in the WNBA, there's no men,
right?
Chippendale guys coming out bumping and grinding.
Women would be offended.
Our basic response to her was, hey, look, they got an inflatable bull up there.
Let's talk
Plus,
about that.
if you think about it, the whole game is a Chippendales routine. It's a bunch of steroid-riddled, muscle-bound,
Chiseled
sweaty,
millionaires.
chiseled millionaires banging for position under the boards. I mean, that's enough. Linda.
Yes.
All right, so go ahead. What's your problem?
I've been working with this other lady for about 4 months, and into the 4 months, we had feelings for each other and everything. And
What kind of job do you have?
we clean charter buses.
Clean charter bus.
Oh, that's
Yes,
great.
So we're alone all night long, cleaning them by ourselves and everything.
Cleaning up Asian vomit, basically,
Yeah,
is what that is.
basically, yes.
You just set off a major
And crap.
fantasy in my head.
And crap.
And crap.
Who charters these buses?
Alpha?
Oh, you mean
This is a penthouse letter waiting to unwind. I want to hear the rest of this.
you mean like fraternity houses?
Oh, no.
What's Alpha?
It's a company cleaning. We clean buses that go on tours.
Yeah, I mean, who goes on the tours?
People that rent the buses and everything.
Oh, boy.
Hold on a second.
Oh, boy.
Drunken Shriners?
Oh,
This is the lowest
No.
Yes. This
Subway
is,
station toilets.
this is the Jaime the Robot syndrome. When she goes into the doctor's office and he says to hop up on the table, she actually jumps onto the table.
Let's talk Linda.
See if we can try this again. Linda,
Yes.
let's see.
If you
I wanted to rent one of these buses, what kind of person might I be?
Terrible.
A terrible person.
Okay. If I walked onto one of these buses while they were in one of their tours, what kind of persons would I find occupying the bus?
College students.
Okay.
So college students charter the bus.
Yes, to go on vacations and everything.
So you're finding
This is fraternity stuff.
expired condoms.
Uh-huh.
You're finding beer and vomit and Everclear and
The
tequila.
smell of male enjoyment.
Right.
Okay.
Feces everywhere.
Feces.
Wait, now, could you answer a question? Do you get ants from dried sperm?
Oh, Linda, please. I mean, John,
No.
please. Linda, so what's the question? So you're with this woman by yourself.
Yeah, and we started having feelings for each other, and one thing led to another, and we're both wondering, should we tell our husbands?
You both have husbands.
Yes, and kids.
I wanted details.
How old are your kids?
9, 8, and 5.
Do you think that's fair to your kids?
Hmm?
Do you think that's fair to your kids to...
No.
Okay. So why don't you just work on your marriage? There's got to be something wrong with that marriage, too, right?
Yeah, I think it's just gotten too old.
Well, how long have you been married?
13 years.
Well, why not breathe a little life back into that marriage on behalf of your family and let this be whatever it was, some attempt to get some intimacy.
So you got married at 17.
Mm-hmm.
You have 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
You're cleaning out the chartered buses.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, a spark is ignited between you and one of your
It's not
coworkers.
so much,
Right.
what there is an emptiness that needs to be filled because the husband ain't doing it.
Well, what should I do?
You should end that relationship and be focused on your relationship.
Well,
with your
are
husband.
you having a relationship with the other charter bus cleaner?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you are?
Uh-huh.
You're having a lesbian affair?
Uh-huh.
Was this your first lesbian affair?
Yes, for both of us.
Well, I agree with Dr. Drew. You got to see to the responsibilities of your life, but that must have been some first kiss.
Oh, yes, it was.
Do you have sex on the bus?
Once.
Really? See,
Yeah.
if this is one of those movies I rented, there'd be an exterior shot of the door going open, shut,
I
open.
just
You know
keep
what I
hearing
mean?
dear penthouse.
There's cameras, too.
There's camera. Do you film yourselves?
No, that's why we go in certain places.
Wow.
Well, there's cameras in the buses?
In the work area.
Really?
Sounds like you get sort of a thrill out of the secrecy and having to sneak around and do some of that.
Oh, yeah, and plus she gives a good face.
And
Linda,
oh,
you've got
boy.
3 kids.
I know.
Think about that, all right?
I know.
You're not a 17-year-old or 20-year-old single
I'm old.
person. No, you're doing what you're experimenting. You're mom.
Okay.
You
You love your kids.
You got a big old
Yes, I
responsibility.
do. I love them a lot.
All right. Well, then commit yourself accordingly.
Okay.
Your husband must really be an absent guy. He must not be available to you in the way you.
Right. He's out all the time.
All right. You gotta get him to. You gotta let him know that things are not good.
But Drew,
Would it be
Maybe
wrong to
we
say
know
she
that.
could, like, fondly look back on the memory of that, though?
Yeah, listen, she shouldn't be condemned. Listen,
Yeah.
when women cheat, it's the man's fault. I'm convinced that. I really am.
He drives them to cheat.
That sounds awfully simplistic.
Just like the bus driver who brings those frat boys to their destination, the man drives the woman to cheat. Is that what
You
you're
back
saying?
me up on the male curse, so I'm not going to contradict you here, but
Not that women don't have the capacity to create chaos in their relationships. They do. It's either some remnant issue created by dad, anyway, or it is the result of the present
Well,
relationship.
let me defend.
well, actually, that is the male curse if you think about it, because women really are looking for something settled to settle.
Oh, yeah.
Let me
All right.
let me.
That's a good point.
I'll defend Drew's logic by saying a woman will usually cheat when she has not been getting something she needs at home for some period of time.
We're talking about something emotional.
It doesn't make it right. It just means they will do it. A woman, when she's very happy and very content in a relationship, will almost never cheat. A man, however, can be in a relationship that he enjoys immensely, be in Canada, see the right chick at the airport, be excited, and so on and so forth. But Drew, maybe it's just the.
I had an off and on girlfriend, go and get my bass player drunk and have sex with him to try and send me a message once.
Oh yeah, they do that too.
The revenge stuff.
Usually, now this is with a
They
woman.
do that because they can.
Usually,
Right. I mean, I found it really silly. It made me just lose more respect for her.
But usually when a woman, or oftentimes when a woman cheats with a man, somehow the guy will find out about it. And it's usually because the woman makes sure he finds out about it. And that's why she cheated in the first place, because he'd been screwing her figuratively for a long time. And now she's going to screw his buddy and get back at him. But Drew, maybe it's the environment. Maybe it's the smell of week-old Jack Daniels and Mountain Dew and the scent of the Funyuns that drove these two into a passionate embrace.
I think you're right about it being the man's fault. I understand that logic. In fact, I'm a proponent of that logic, but it just somehow belittles the woman's libido. I think women do have a libido in there somewhere.
Of course, and they will choose occasionally to go out and have sex spontaneously and not have any.
Can't they ever be
emotional-
overpowered?
But if a man could choose to do that and do that whenever he wished, he would never work.
Yeah, it's true. And if I could lick my own, well, never mind.
Jamie,
Yeah?
you're 16.
Hi.
You're on with John Popper from Blues Traveler.
Howdy, Jamie.
I've been going out with a guy for 2 years. And about a year and a half ago, we started having sex. And I would say maybe 6 to 9 months ago, I started crying when we would do it.
How old is he?
He's 17.
Have your feeling changed about him?
No, not at all. I love him so much. And it's very frustrating.
Has he changed cologne?
No.
Is it frustrating for you or for him?
It's frustrating for me more than him. He's very understanding, and he just holds me.
What is it you're feeling at that point?
I don't know. I just kind of freak out and push him, away.
It's funny. When women cry when they have sex, guys cry when they don't have sex. That's the difference.
What is it? What do you think you might be feeling at that point?
I don't know. I can't tell you. Honestly, I have no idea. It's just kind of like just a reaction, I guess. I don't know.
So it's not a bad feeling.
It's just kind of like a scared feeling, I guess.
You're frightened.
Did something happen to you?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
What is it you might be frightened of?
I don't know. I have no idea.
How about oral sex? Do you cry during that?
Nope.
Oh, well,
Just intercourse.
That may be your answer. No. I don't want to be.
Are you frightened by the
insensitive.
closeness of the relationship?
No.
You afraid you're going to lose him?
That's what it sounds like to me.
I'm afraid sometimes that I'm going to lose him, but that
Have you
doesn't-
lost anybody important in your life at any point?
No.
But it's just the intensity of the vulnerability here that bugs you, huh? Is that safe to say or no?
I don't know.
Maybe on some level he might have given you some really subtle signal that he might, not take the relationship as seriously as you do.
That's a
and
good point.
Might want to split.
Or you just might not be right. That's when I was saying maybe your feelings have changed, Amy. It's also maybe the relationship has changed.
No, I don't think that's it. I mean, the only way that it's changed is over the past year, because it used to be just the two of us and no one else. And then over the past year, it's been like we started to like get friends actually and just kind of have our own lives besides each other. But
That's a threat to the relationship kind of ending or changing in a way that you can't control.
that's been happening for a year, and I've gotten used to it. And
Are you emotional otherwise?
yeah,
You are.
yeah.
Have you been depressed?
No.
You know how you say you got over it? You seem really sure about that, but you're not sure of anything else. Maybe that's something you got to look at. Maybe you really haven't gotten over it.
Gotten over the fact that we are.
The relationship might be changing. You got friends involved, you know, and maybe you aren't as cool with it as you think you are.
No, that makes me very happy because having friends.
What about
in my
this
life.
depression feeling?
What?
What about this depression?
I just get some. I'm a very self-conscious person, and that really bothers me. And I've gone to counseling about it, but that's
Did you ever have an eating disorder?
an eating disorder. Is that what you said?
Did you ever have any problem with that?
For a little while, but not that long.
You know, it's amazing. By the way, good job there, Drew. But it's amazing that somebody can say something that is so close to home and be so misunderstood. It's if you studied in Germany for 5 years, and I went. You ever been to Germany? You went
to Germany? What? Germany?
Yeah, Germany.
Yeah, I lived there 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Wow, you're pretty good too.
Well, I just mean.
That's right.
I'm amazed at how you were able to make that connection. I mean, it's
Well,
weird.
because
No, I
she's
just
got
didn't
some
hear
stuff
him.
going on here, and so let's get down to what happened. I mean, I suspect you have some sort of stuff going on. There's either some abandonment issues or some kind of intrusion by your parents. We sort of to call this the ballet when you're 3 syndrome. Is that the way you were parented?
Was what?
Sent to ballet class when you were
That
3
needs
years
more
old?
explanation.
Yeah, I had ballet when I was 4.
All right, I'm
Whoa.
giving Drew $1 now.
That is scary.
John, could you give Drew $1?
No, I don't carry big bills on this show. I know.
And when you're parented in a way that is very intrusive.
Yeah, that's right. It's just doing your
Yeah,
job. When you do a good job, you get tip.
Wait, hold
That's
on.
all.
You're what, Jamie?
My father is very much like that. He will read my diary.
Okay, so he's really controlling and intrusive. Thank you, gentlemen. And intrusive. And when kids are parented like that, that's another form of abuse. When parents really do not acknowledge a child as a separate, autonomous person, they objectify them and they use them for their own emotional needs. Your dad has a lot of emotional issues that he has to contain through you. And in the process, you never have a sense to develop a clear sense of yourself, any sense of self-worth, any autonomy, and you get lost in these relationships like the one you're in, where the boundaries get blurred. I would suggest, Jamie, you've been in therapy, go back in therapy. You need some stable relationships with an object.
Would
Somebody
you
that's not
want to
gonna
know
intrude.
what was in your 16-year-old daughter's diary?
No.
Could you imagine, page 37, Johnny
she is-
Finnegan's got a finger in me
Okay,
in
but
summer
she is
camp.
involved in a way that
You've read a few
she's
diaries, have you?
overly involved in this relationship,
I
and
just
she's
don't wanna-
vulnerable, and she's lost, and there's bad
All right.
boundaries that she needs to reestablish.
And I think it's time for my suggestion again, which is kids, all of you. And by the way, guys don't keep a diary. Women keep diaries. Guys look at pictures. Women write down thoughts.
Diaries keep the stories from getting better.
Right, because the home run gets, there are more men on base,
Right.
and the guy you punched out gets 2 inches taller and 10 pounds heavier each year, and the girl's tits get bigger and her ass got smaller.
I'm going to tell you, I'm abandoning my therapist and just calling up this show. 'Cause he's hitting, like, revelations that...
Oh, yes. Drew,
That's amazing.
We're just pointing out patterns. We're not going to the dynamics or the treatments or the treatments take a lot longer than the diagnosis.
but keep 2 diaries. Keep the one that you leave out that your folks are going to find.
That's the Carolla diary.
Yes,
You can buy that. at your
I'm
local
going to publish a
bookstore.
diary where you just put your name in it, where it talks about
Like Mad Libs.
Today. I continued my personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Then I stopped over by
Billy
the
wanted to
shelter.
get fresh with me. I told him no.
I wasn't that kind of girl.
I continue my personal relationship with proper noun.
Right, right. Buddha, Allah, Jesus Christ. Yeah,
I
you
listen to my
underline the one.
parents. My parents are God.
Right. And then there's the one that talks about having the meth lab in your pimp's apartment. And that's the one you hide.
Got beat for $10 today. Shinebone ain't gonna like this none too good.
Shinebone gave me a golden shower and then forced me to tip him. I wept.
Heather,
Yeah.
17. What's going on?
I have a really, really big problem. I have been friends with this guy. We've been best friends for about 10 years, since I was in 3rd grade. And I confide everything in him, and we've gone out and we've kissed a couple times, and I found out in November that he was gay. And he always, tells me that if he wasn't gay, that he'd like me, and he always says that, he's really open about it, and he
If
always...
you were such great friends, how come you never had a clue that was going on?
It wasn't really obvious to me because I liked him so much.
Did he hide it from you?
He did for a while because he had feelings for me. But he always says that, he's not... He would like me if he wasn't gay and everything, and I...
But he's gay.
Yeah, he's gay, and I just don't know what to do because I really, really like this guy, and whenever I can't, apart myself from him because he's such a big part of my life.
Why can't he remain a part of your life and be a great friend?
He can, but it hurts me so much because I haven't liked another guy for a long time.
You need to find another guy, though. That's the reality. And I think when you find another guy, this guy will fall into the proper perspective as a good friend.
How old is this guy?
He's my same age. He's
17.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a long-term relationship or a real boyfriend?
About 5 months or so. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But
17-year-old years, that's...
Did you always kind of have this guy in mind as your Prince Charming?
Yeah,
sort of?
I really thought that we would get married, and it was weird because when I was in that relationship, he tried to kiss me, too.
There's a frustration there when you're thinking, all the years I spent picturing this guy.
It's totally like that, yeah.
You can get over that, though.
Yeah.
You have to.
It sucks, but you got to get over it.
You got to get over it. I mean, it's the reality. You have to deal with reality.
Should I, separate myself from him for a while?
I would hate to see either of you lose the relationship that you have just based on his sexual orientation.
The relationship isn't going to be what you thought it was.
Yeah, it might help you if you get some distance from the relationship, at least to begin to connect with somebody else, if you want to certainly cool it down a bunch. But
it's so hard.
But, yeah. Well, at your age, it's tough to do.
But maybe... I don't know. Maybe
Adam, you have some thoughts?
I have some thoughts. First off, it reminded me I got to read my GAT test next break, the Gay Aptitude Test. Secondly, and you can score along at home, and perhaps he can do this. Maybe it turns out you can score for him. He may not be gay.
How about Heather? We can score her.
No.
The test does not lie.
How come he was attracted for a while to her?
He was confused.
Well, listen.
I guess he told me that I was the only girl that he was attracted to that he would ever want to get in a relationship with.
Yeah, and it's a... Right.
He might have sensed your expectation.
But he is matured and understands that he is gay, and that's that.
All right, and understand that being infatuated with a gay man and making a real career out of it means you're avoiding some intimacy yourself.
Sure.
What was that movie they did recently?
Swish.
Not Switch Hitter.
Forget it.
Okay.
It was some movie. And
yes.
I avoided that movie because it just was a big, long, frustrating setup, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was the one with the guy who's married to Phoebe Cates. Is that the movie?
Sure.
Yeah. I'm looking at Drew for an answer of something that happened in the last 15 years. It's a big mistake. All right, we're going to go to break. John is going to jam along with me and Drew. And anyone who listens to the show with any regularity knows Sunday night is jam night anyway, and we're going to let John sit in. So we'll get the keyboard set up. I will blow out the spit hole, and I'm also going to go out to the car and get the GAT test.
All right.
So it's a lot of show, but we'll get through it. The Loveline.
Hey.
That is...
what's going on?
No, different song, but it sounds about the same.
Same deal.
It's worse, though. Phone number, forget the phone number, forget the fax number. John Popper from Blues Travelers here. I'm going to tell you real fast. I gave you the first part. I gave you July of the Horde Tour. August of the Horde Tour will be in, starting on the 5th, they'll be in New York. And then the 9th is going to be in Washington, D.C. Then it'll be in Miami Beach, Florida. 18th. On the 18th and 19th, they'll be Jacksonville, Florida. The 25th, they'll be Phoenix, Arizona. 27th.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going through Texas.
Irvine.
Right.
Irvine on the 27th. That's the one I'm going to make. Shoreline Amphitheater. Oh, I was just there last week. Beautiful venue. Actually, lovely. Irvine and Shoreline are about the same.
They also
gig.
rhyme.
San Francisco on the 28th and the 29th. They're going to be in...
Concord.
Concord what?
California.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know we had that.
Give us
That's what the
September real
grapes
quick.
All right.
September, too. Wait, September.
We'll get into that in a minute. Now,
it's like one date in September. Come on.
What do you want to do? Okay. September, they're going to be in Salt Lake City on the 1st. The 4th, they're going to be in Washington, Seattle, Washington. And then the 5th, they're going to be in Portland.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to do the gay aptitude test? Do we want to jam?
I want to
Yeah,
do that
good.
first. I think what made you go to your car and what makes me want to try it is that remote fear that we might flunk.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Let's go for it.
get a pad and
Little
pencil
background
ready.
music.
I haven't done this one in quite some time. Engineer Mike is not with us tonight, so we may not have the background music. Okay, number one. Unseasonable use of the turtleneck sweater and/or dickie. Give yourself 5 points. The gay guys love the turtlenecks, especially in the middle of August.
Can I tell you a really embarrassing story?
Yes.
I was at a school where you had to either wear a tie or a turtleneck. I was really sleepy, and I put on a turtleneck, and it turns out I was wearing my mom's cowl neck all day.
Ooh. Oh.
That was boarding school. I was young. I didn't know.
Overconsumption of yogurt. Give yourself a point. More than 1 or 2 containers a week, and especially the novelty flavors, such as the pina colada and the passion fruit and the cafe latte. For every plant in your house, give yourself a point. For every plant you've named, give yourself 3 extra points. For every pot plant or fly-eating plant, deduct a point. You see, certain plants are all right. Plants you either smoke or that eat other things.
Good.
That's a keeper.
Carnivorous plants. Yeah.
Right. All right. If you have a padded toilet seat, give yourself 5 points.
Does a yucca brush count?
Nope.
Anything you could hurt yourself on, I think, if you got drunk and fell into it, like some kind of cactus
Oh, I
or
was actually
something.
counting that for the plants.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah, I think that would. You're
Loofah
fine on
sponge,
that.
okay.
If you got a padded toilet seat, or the great thing about the padded toilet seat is you can't pee standing up because the girth of the toilet seat will not let it sit at 90
Right.
degrees. It sits a little less than 90.
falling down.
It keeps
Oh,
falling
I hate
down.
that.
But the way it works is this: is you take the padded toilet seat, you push it real hard,
The
and
air
it
goes out.
compresses, and then you begin urinating, and it begins expanding, and about halfway into the urination, it comes down like a urine guillotine. And
It's a better one. Riding on tour buses, you learn to be really good with your knees, and you can just sort of get that thing going with your knee.
oh, that you could probably deduct 10
could be.
points just for what you did with your knee. Shag carpet on the toilet seat or the lid of the tank. That is good for 5 points. Anything made out of fabric near where you urinate, give yourself a few points, because that is a gay maneuver.
Yeah.
Real men know that they could urinate anywhere. They could be loaded. They could be peeing
Do you
in the
find
corner.
there's dried urine around your toilet?
Yeah.
You know, it's that last drop.
Yeah, it doesn't make it in. There's people that have their bathrooms like shag carpet, like 3/4 of an inch of padding under it. To me, that would just be like one big sponge.
Yeah.
Okay, if you've wrapped any gifts in anything other than tinfoil or the sports page, give yourself 3 points. The guys don't have wrapping paper around. If you own scented stationery, give yourself a couple of points. If you own scented candles, give yourself a couple more points. If they smell like a guy's ass,
What if somebody gave
you
you
got to
scented-
add 5 points.
What if you're given scented candles?
That's all right. You can be given.
They smell like a guy's ass?
Yeah, I really think you should reject those. Because you don't know if those came out of the factory smelling that way or the guy did
Came
a
out of somewhere else.
did a little double dip on the way over to the house. All right. For each skincare product you own, give yourself a point. Other than something like Aquavelva or High Karate or some nonsense. Unless it's just rubbing alcohol with some green tint to it.
I only use Score cologne.
All right, that's fine. If it implies you getting laid, right in the title.
Score.
And if you have a squeegee in the bathroom that you use to, do up the lucite door after each time you and your life partner take a shower, that's a big whopping 25 points. And finally, if you've ever blown a guy, give yourself 50 points. So there it is.
I just love yogurt. I eat a lot of blueberry yogurt. But
Everybody has the Achilles heel on the list. There's some soft spot that people have, but if you just have 1 or 2 of those, you'll fare fine.
I'm about 10 points with the yogurt.
All right, that's fine. Shall we do a little jamming? Shall we take a call and jam? What do you want to do?
Well, I really want to hear Dr. Drew play. I mean, we got a keyboard in here to his exact
Yeah,
specifications.
but we haven't had any calls this segment. We'll open the next segment with
No.
Stalling.
No, we'll maybe take one call and then we'll
All right,
jam.
One call.
All right, I'll tell you. Okay, Drew, what call you want to take? Drew points at the screen like a monkey, and we're talking to June.
Hello?
June, you're 14.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
yeah.
I just want to say, Ferris, you rocked with Say Ferris.
Oh, I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I normally play the sax, but I got the trumpet out with Save Ferris and
You
got
blow
up.
the trumpet as well?
Yeah, I play flugelhorn, too. A lot of
Is-
people don't know. But
You flug?
Yes, I flugel.
What's your favorite kind of flugelhorn?
The one that Chuck Mangione played.
You like the ambidextrous or the left-handed?
Well, I am left-handed, but I was learned on the ambidextrous, so now I'm used to that.
Do you use the muff fuzz or the tie clamp?
I will use just the bottom of a plunger when you're talking about for a mute?
Well, no. You know, for the rod manipulator spool on the end of the flugelhorn.
Oh, I thought you were talking mutes.
Oh, you're from another town. See, they call it the tie clamp where I come from.
Yeah, it varies.
Well,
All right, the point is I thank you, June. I was up there rocking out at the Weenie Roast with Save Ferris and having a good time with the kids. And
is that really named after Ferris Bueller?
Yeah.
Cool.
Good band and just the nicest people in the world.
Right.
But anyway, we'll be jamming a little more in a few minutes, soon as June spits her question out.
Okay, well, my brother, he's 17, and he has a friend, and he's, when I first, he was really nice and, friendly, but about a month ago, we were just hanging out, and, I'll sometimes just, talk with him or whatever. My brother went to the bathroom, and he came over, and he, grabbed my butt, and I was all...
How old is he?
Huh?
How old is he again?
He's the same age, 17.
17.
And, I was just I kind of was uneasy about it, but I just kind of laughed it off at first, and then about a week later, he came over again, and then we were sitting down, and my brother had gone somewhere, and he put his hand on my leg, and I kind of pushed him off, and I was that's not cool, and he just started laughing. And I was like, okay. So then I kind of stayed away from him after that, but he'd always kind of seem to find me. I'd try to leave the house, but I'd just be walking, not even giving him any attention.
Have you told your brother that you're having a problem with this guy?
No, my brother.
Why don't you tell him?
He's his really good friend.
Well,
the only person I've told is my best friend.
He's probably just hanging out with your brother to get in your panties.
If I had a little sister, I have some advice ready for this. Aim for the bridge of his nose.
Yeah.
Pull up your fist really hard and aim past his face. Aim 6 inches beyond his face and give it everything you got and just punch him really hard.
I'm scared to tell someone because I'm scared to tell my parents because he's so polite to my parents and everything.
June, this is not your fault. This guy is a total asshole and a victimizer.
Yep.
Well,
he's verging on, as far as I'm concerned, criminal behavior with you because you've been clear not to touch. It's a sexual assault.
He's 17. Maybe he touches your butt once, and you demur.
By the way, this is another difference between men and women. Men think men think women are going to love that.
Right.
Oh yeah.
There really are people who think that if I'm in a hot tub full of beautiful women, I'm going to have sex.
Yeah, because they just sit still long enough for you to get a toe in them. Boy, wouldn't they go nuts.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's my hot tub maneuver, by the way.
Yes.
You tell your brother, you tell your parents.
Tell everyone.
You push him away physically if he does not.
I have. I pushed him away, and he just thought it was a joke.
You're allowed to be angry at this.
No
guy.
joke. You start talking. You are absolutely...
I was that's not cool. I don't like you that way. I thought you were just nice, but...
Give your brother the first shot at it, and then
June,
tell your folks.
He
And
is
June,
not a nice guy.
by the way, you've never been a victim of rape or abuse, have you?
No.
That's right.
Well, you don't have to be, and tell everybody.
No, we know the ones that haven't, because the ones whose grandpa got to them when they were 9 would have been wide open for this
Yes,
guy.
yeah.
He would
not have been calling now. Would have been calling after the third.
No, they would call because they're pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay. Drew, let's jam. I cannot...
I want to hear what Drew can do. I want to hear what he's got.
All right, let's go.
All right, well, hold on a second now, Drew. Why don't you take your position over there behind the keyboard?
You're not wearing tails. You don't got to do that little gesture on the stool there.
Drew is very modest about his musical ability. He's a finely trained operatic singer, and he also plays the keyboards very well. And I think...
Well, so he says. He seems a little...
So he says. Tonight, I think it's time to share that with the world. So if you will, we'll have a little Loveline jam session. Here we go, Drew.
Wow. Goodness. That's pretty good. Yeah, okay, that'll work. You ready?
Yeah.
Dr. Drew has soul.
True, baby. A white boy born and bred in Pasadena, California, and he's playing it like he should have some swamp part in his name.
A steely-eyed beacon of restraint, but beneath the surface,
wow,
a molten cauldron of fire.
I see what Susan sees in you after all these years. All right, that was, I'll tell you, Ann went through 3 pair of panties in the next room.
Seriously, you guys are awesome.
I got to tell you, and Ann, you back me up on this. You've known Drew for many years longer than I have, but I have known him for 3 years now and had zero idea of his musical ability.
Yeah, it's like he's shy about it, but you shouldn't be. You're awesome.
You know, during the break, he told me why he doesn't brag about his piano playing. Drew, if you could give me a little accompaniment, I could tell you what happened. He was doing pretty good, playing the bars, the highways and byways, a journeyman looking to explore his art. But one day, it was in Kokomo, at the Howard Johnson's Hustle Up Lounge and Truck Stop, that he fell for a little girl named Rita. Rita was a waitress, a goodly woman, as that region is often given to put forth on the earth. But Rita was spoken for, a trucker named Zeke. Well, it was inevitable for one night Zeke would show up. Drew was working his magic on the keys, and Rita was just sitting there, goggle-eyed, ogling. The musician, as is the case with most musicians. It's a tough job that somebody has to do it. But Zeke walked in, took one look, and started to tussle with Drew, let's say. He was down to fight. But among his many gifts, Drew is also a world-class kickboxer. One blow to the throat ended the tragic and maudlin career of Zeke as a truck driver. He lost his sense of smell, and since he was hauling methane, that was an important thing to have.
I got a full load of methane myself.
Before Zeke exploded all over Highway 5. Drew was heartbroken when he read it in the paper the next day. And since then he vowed never to ply his art and lure women away from their good men. He moved to California and took on, figured, it was either beauty school or therapy, and he's made a good career so far, and now, like the Incredible Hulk, he's been exposed. He's probably going to have to move on.
Yeah. Like whoever Bill Bixby's character was.
David Banner.
That's right. A man who could destroy every shred of clothing he had except for his pants between the knees and the waist.
It's the saddest story I ever heard.
We got to go.
Thank you for that performance art, John. And I'll send it to break. It is Loveline.
You guys got the best in music anywhere.
Yeah, we do, don't we? Phone number. Forget the phone number. Forget the fax number. John Popper is here from Blues Traveler. Straight On Till Morning's the name of the current CD. You can find him on the Horde Tour coming to a town near you. And one thing I just learned about John during the break is he's got some Indian blood in him. He was saying he was 1/4 black stool.
Yes.
You didn't.
We were a very put-upon tribe. We got all the S assignments.
It'd be a great tribe, wouldn't it? Here'd be the great thing, just to make up different Indian
That's asking
tribes that sounded like crap, and
it's like a Step on Us tribe.
Get really pathetic white people, blonde people to go along with your plight.
Right.
I'm from Corn and Kaka tribe. You've heard of us,
and I want a gambling license. No, I like names for football teams. I want to see the Atlanta Death.
Oh, that'd be good.
Or the Plague. Catch it.
Yeah, it would certainly work for arena ball.
The San Francisco Murdering Bastards.
Mm-hmm. Jennifer. Yeah, but that ended up being abbreviated. Jennifer?
Yes.
You're 15?
Yes.
You're on Loveline.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, I have 2 questions for you.
All right.
All right, my first question is, all right, my mom recently, 4.5 months ago, gave up crank, and then all of a sudden she's back on it. And
People on crank don't give it up without getting either onto something else or getting back to it.
No, she gave it up for 4.5 months.
Unless they're in recovery, they will always go back.
And I found some crank pipes, right? And
Okay, so she didn't get treatment. She didn't go into recovery. So She didn't never really stop. She was just away from her drug for a little while, Jennifer. That's the way that drug works.
It's hurting me badly because my mom, I'm trying to be there for her, but
No, listen, you're not the parent.
I know I'm not, but I can't help it. I'm trying to be there for her to stick it through her, but,
Does she know how much this is hurting her? You?
Yes, but she's so cranked out she doesn't understand.
She can't tell. Where's your dad?
Huh?
Do you have your father around?
No, my dad lives in North Dakota. They're separated.
Can you get in touch with him?
No, because if I talk to him about it, he'll take me away.
Well, that's what needs to happen for a while, because unless she starts losing things, this is not going to stop, Jennifer.
How bad a guy's your dad?
Not bad. It's just my stepmom.
Please call him. Please call him. You need to be out of there for a while. That's the only way she's going to get better. You can't do anything to make her better, except let her know that you can't be in her life if this goes on.
Okay.
Okay, that's the only thing you do. Let me give you some numbers you can call.
Hold on, Jennifer. Drew.
What?
You can't just start shouting out numbers. No one remembers them or writes them down.
My mom is kind of wanting to use the phone and...
Well, this is kind of important, Jennifer. She's, this is about
Can't she just go to the park and score, or she got to call a guy?
Huh?
Write this number down, would you?
Okay.
Do you have a pad and pencil?
Yeah, I do, right here.
800.
800.
522.
Okay.
8336.
2 more minutes.
Okay.
I got it.
And all this aggression and chaoticness and lability, this is all part of speed.
Find your friends and stay with them.
And get a hold of your dad, okay?
All right.
Good luck. Oh, boy. All right, now here's the thing, John, that drives me crazy about this society. Her mom is allowed to have as many kids as she likes.
Yeah.
But you can't smoke in restaurants.
Well, I do anyway.
I know, but you're a big star. I can't smoke in restaurants.
No, I
That's
just
what
make
I want to
violent,
say.
threatening gestures. And so they think I'm on drugs, and they think I'm like her mom. And
can you imagine? I mean, crank speed is the most. It's for people who don't know a lot about drugs. They're bad drugs, and there's more benign drugs. I know Drew doesn't like me to classify drugs that way, but if Mom was smoking pot, if Mom did a bag of mushrooms twice a year, whatever. But smoking speed, that is the worst.
I think from coke on up, the sad thing is watching. When it's somebody you really love and your relationship is involved, what happens is your relationship starts to unravel.
Oh, yeah.
And you discover all sorts of things about your relationship that you didn't want to discover, and it...
Well, the person's on drugs. It's a totally different relationship now.
My mom gets a glass of red wine in her, we start going down a path I don't want to go down.
My sister had a good analogy of like the difference between a drunk and a coke addict. Like a drunk will steal your wallet and go buy booze, and you'll go, "Did you steal my wallet?" And they're like, "I don't remember." A coke addict will steal your wallet, spend the money to buy coke, and help you try and locate your wallet. I don't know where it is. Where is it? It's freaky.
Heidi.
Yeah.
You're 17. You've been on hold for 95 minutes.
Yeah.
How do you like Drew's playing?
It's good.
Yeah. Were you surprised?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you classically trained?
What's going on, Heidi?
Well, a few weeks ago, I met my dad for the first time.
Wow.
And
Did you have a stepdad?
No. What happened was my mom, when she was 17, she became pregnant with me. Mm-hmm. And my dad was 17 too, and they decided to split, and a week later he moved to New York with his family. And at the time, my mom didn't know she was pregnant. And then 2 weeks later, she found out that she was pregnant with me. And she tried to find him, but she couldn't. And so he never found out that he had a daughter. And he moved back here about a month ago. And he called my mom up, and she explained the whole thing to him. Because he
called your mom up?
Yeah, he found her. He, located her.
Why?
I want to get his comb back.
He just wanted to see how she was doing.
All right, so, can you imagine and he was completely shocked then, right?
Yeah, and so...
How was the meeting?
Well, he invited me and my mom over to his house, and we met his wife and his 2 kids.
How was that?
Well, it was fine. It was nice to actually meet him.
Does he want to have a relationship with you?
Well, the problem is, he told me, if you want to maintain a relationship with me, then I'm totally okay with it. But if you just want to leave things how they were, I mean, you haven't seen me for 17 years, then it's fine. And I was just wondering what you think.
What do you want to do?
Well, I'm not really sure right now.
Well, does he have money?
I think it's important to notice that he's not really sure right now. He just found this out.
Yeah, I wouldn't make any big decisions about it. See how you feel as time goes along. I would maintain the relationship. It sounds like a good guy.
Sounds like you want him to really be excited about this relationship, and he's got a lot to take in, too.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I'm not quite sure how to read this guy. I would think he would be able to muster a little more than that.
The story is a little suspicious. I mean, this is Heidi's version of the story. Who knows if that's the accurate one?
Right. Yeah. My mom told me my original dad was the Prince of Prussia. Is that true?
One of the Habsburgs.
He was assassinated, and that's what started World War I.
When I was in kindergarten, I convinced myself that I'd actually been kidnapped and I was a replacement robot.
But Heidi, really cool. I think just don't make an absolute decision.
Yeah, I was kindergarten.
At this point, it sounds like you're inclined to sort of have a relationship. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, and see what happens. It's not going to be any fantasy relationship, I'm sure. It's one, but amongst adults now, I suspect. And it's going to be kind of awkward and have lots of starts and stops. But
you planning on going to college, Heidi?
Yeah.
All right. See, that could be what he was thinking.
Payday.
Books, tuition. All right, Heidi, you sound pretty well adjusted, although you do have a little girl voice, which makes me nervous. But we don't have time to delve into that. You all right with guys?
Yeah.
Okay. And never had Uncle so-and-so molest you or anything?
No, nothing like that.
All right. All right, so, you know, I mean...
You keep looking for work. I don't know why you're doing it.
It's, part of my job is to prod.
Oh, I see.
On and off the mic.
In verbal ways.
Right. I do the physical prodding when the mic cools down. Drew will attest to that as he's trying to leave the building every night. Okay, we're going to go to break, and we will be right back with John Popper. Well, that just about wraps it up. Straight On Till Morning is the name of the CD. John,
I got to say you boys can play.
Thank you. And I got to say you can give advice.
Thank you.
Because we already knew you could play.
I'm not as funny as I used to because I'm in therapy now, so now it's like two serious
Me neither.
guys and then one whack job.
People can chart the show's demise from when I re-began therapy about 3 months ago, too.
Oh, you're in therapy, too?
Oh, yes.
Oh, see? Oh, God. We're all sensitive
I'll
now.
see him tomorrow. Although, Drew, tell me if this is healthy. My therapist, he says, in lieu of paying him, if he can just perform sodomy on me, that I don't have to pay that week. Is that healthy? Is that normal?
What a trade-off.
Oh, it's just considered barter? Okay.
I'm getting to have my first childhood.
Yeah.
I never had a childhood. It's pretty cool.
I'm reliving John's childhood in
He
my
advised me to
therapy.
date 18-year-old girls.
Oh, I gotta give my guy an extra 20. Get him to give me that advice, too.
Yes.
All right. Should we go out with a little jam, boys?
I'm ready. You guys want to play another one?
Yeah, why don't we just, we're out of show, but let's just jam for about 30 seconds and you just wind it out.
Why don't we do Knocking on Heaven's Door?
Okay. Except for we don't know it.
Let's do it in E.
E, all right.
No, not E. Screw E. We don't want to do E because you hate playing in that game.
Yeah, that's mine. It stands for enema.
Let's do it in C.
C. Carolla. Okay, here we go.